And the first line on that receipt? Me, 12 years old, moist from a humid Baltimore summer, pushing a lawnmower that looked like a medieval torture device. The cracked rowhouse sidewalks rattled the wheels, sweat stung my eyes, and every spin of the blade sounded like an angry cicada on meth. Childhood chores had a way of mutating into side hustles. And before long, I was in business, whether I meant to be or not. And this wasn't some gas powered beast that roared through the block, ripping lawns down to velvet in minutes. No, this was the old school reel mower, the kind with the whirring, spinning blades that only cut if you ran it like hell. Slow down, and the blades just folded the grass over like a bad comb over on a drunk uncle. Every pass was cardio, every yard a marathon. By the time I finished, my legs were jelly. My arms screamed, and I smelled like a sweaty rag dipped in cat piss. Once the grass was down, I moved on to the manual edger, a medieval contraption with iron teeth that chewed through grass and dirt alike, if you shoved it hard enough. The sidewalks bulked, my palms blistered, and the line I carved looked more like trench warfare than landscaping. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. First time I ever knocked on a stranger's door to pitch my services, I was shaking, voice cracking, palms wet, brain screaming, "Don't screw this up." I hadn't even figured out what lawn mowing meant yet. Front yard only? Back too? Did edging count? Sweeping? Pulling weeds? It was all a blur. And then I made the dumbest rookie mistake imaginable. I told the guy he could pay me whatever he thought it was worth. Big mistake. I mowed front and back, edged the walk, swept the place clean like the mayor's parade was coming through. Hours later, dripping and streaked with perspiration, I knocked back on his door. He smiled, handed me a single dollar, and said, "Great job." That dollar burned hotter than the sun. Lesson learned. Never let the customer set your price. From then on, my minimum was $3. Now, family was better business. My grandparents paid me $5 a lawn, and in 1976, $5 was a fortune. Kiss, Aerosmith, Sabbath, $4.99 plus tax. A Saturday morning sweating in their backyard meant walking home with an album tucked under my arm, still fresh from the record store bin. But their generosity came with strings. My grandmother was the toughest foreman I ever had. Arms crossed, eagle-eyed, she'd call out every missed strip, every rogue blade of grass. "Back it up, you missed a spot. Sweep again. Don't leave clippings in the flower bed." I earned those fives the hard way, strip by strip, lecture by lecture. By age 14, my dad upgraded me to a gas mower, and suddenly the game changed. What was once an entire afternoon now took half the time. I felt like I'd harnessed the power of modern civilization. A year later, he brought home a gas powered weed whacker, and that's when I reached my artistic peak. I was the Michelangelo of lawn care, carving sharp edges and clean lines with the same precision the Renaissance masters brought to marble. By the end of that summer, I had a full fledged hustle. Nervous knocks on strangers' doors, cheap neighbors who thought I was only worth a buck, grandparents doubling as quality control inspectors, and long afternoons running that cicada blade mower until my arms gave out. It was my first business, my first real hustle, and the lesson stayed with me. Always set your own price. Never undersell the effort. And for Pete's sake, don't leave clippings on the walk.